Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to your university. Please be seated. Welcome to High Point University's 2024 undergraduate commencement ceremony. I should tell you, I get it, you're just glad to be here, I know. Listen, this is the third graduation ceremony we have in the last 48 hours. We began on Thursday afternoon with our graduate school ceremony. We had more than 450 or so doctoral and master's degree graduates. And we had the president of Duke University as our speaker. And then, of course, yesterday, we had baccalaureate, as you know, and onward with faithful courage in the morning. Thank you all for coming in droves. And then, of course, this morning, we had a ceremony with the Bachelor of Science degree students. And these are the Bachelor of Arts degree students. And we are so very proud of the accomplishments of these students. We salute you, every one of you, and all of you as ambassadors of this university. And I want to thank all of you, ladies and gentlemen, for your flexibility, your cooperation in helping us figure out this weekend. Now, I've been president for 20 years. This is the first time it rains and has lightning this morning as well. And I just believe it's the fault of the people from New Jersey. That's what I figured out. You know, we love our New Jersey families. What are you talking about? We charge them full tuition, then we add under miscellaneous an extra 10%. That's how we build buildings at High Point. I'm glad you're still in good humor here on this Saturday afternoon. I need to tell you that we finished our ceremony this morning. It was a grand ceremony. And every seat was full. The class is bigger than this class by about 100. That explains that these seats there. And it's the most remarkable thing. We asked all the people to exit not the way they entered, and we shut down this state street here called Lexington Avenue, and we had buses lined up there. And all the people went out and got in the buses and went back to the mall as 100 people on our staff showed up here. There could be senior VP, could be somebody in the cleaning staff, and they just completely reworked this arena so that when you come here, you find it clean and ready for you. It's remarkable. I am humbled every day. I am humbled every day by this phenomenal group of faculty, this incredible group of staff who take care of your children with love and willingness and enthusiasm and authenticity, and it just shows up on a time like this. I mean, we lined up everything in front of Roberts Hall. You should see it. I should tell you, it'll probably shock you, but I should tell you, we invested more than $600,000 preparing for this graduation. Everything is built like a structure with metal. And there are 14,000 chairs sitting there, and the most elaborate sound system, all of it. We don't hold anything back, and it's unfortunate for next year's staff because we'll raise the tuition. So you got by, unless your student's coming back to master's degree, and in which case we will sneak it under miscellaneous. So I got to tell you that this team is amazing. You know, as I told you in the email, safety is our #1 priority. And we were not about to place you in outside where there was a 40% chance of lightning this morning. And in fact, there was lightning. That's what we heard. I thought it was jets. That was lightning outside. And so that's why we brought you all in here. I wonder what area colleges do on a day like this. I do know, by the way, they have little places for their graduation. And one president told me this week, if it rains and this happens and they can't delay it an hour or two, they just cancel graduation. Not at High Point University, graduates. This is a place where we believe in everything is possible. Choose to be extraordinary. We make it happen, and that's what we're trying to do here today. Graduates, let me just tell you something. I love you, everyone. You're amazing men and women. You're my friends. You know, I had you in my freshman class. You showed up in Mass. I've waved at you throughout your last 4 years, and 99% of you waved back. And the others, we flunked them on purpose. You know, we had a wonderful time. This is not a perfect university, ladies and gentlemen, but this is an excellent university. And we work hard at bringing excellence to everything that we do. When you were born, this country went through a dramatically troubling time. 9/11 happened in the year most of you were born. And then your parents experienced something else very difficult when you were like 8 or 9. This country went through a great recession, the most disrupted economic time of the last 90 years of America's history. And these parents of yours saw their 401k become 101k. And at Hype University, we kept building. I know there was a recession. We chose not to participate. And we realized that's a good time to build. Construction prices were down. We built 108 buildings on this campus in the last 10 or 12 years and grew dramatically and exponentially at a time so many colleges in America are shutting down. Even in this triad region, I read this morning that 2 schools have laid off hundreds of employees, faculty and staff, because they're running out of money. What are we doing at High Point? We're hiring 150 to 200 more people this year. So then, class, you're about to graduate from high school, and you couldn't. COVID hit America and the world, and everybody hid their light under a bushel. What did High Point University do? We stayed open. And we gave you a chance. We told you it's your choice, parents. You want your child to be at home, hiding away, studying remotely, or you want them to learn that life will sometimes have adversity, as you learned from our speaker here this afternoon. And you must learn to deal with it, and deal with it with faith and with courage. Put them together, you have faithful courage. We stayed open. Out of 6,000 students, 120 of them chose to be at home. The rest of them were right here. We rented 10 hotels and staffed them and took good care of our students. And the next year, private colleges in America went down 14.8% in enrollment. And Hype University went up 5.6% in enrollment. So I want your children to learn that all things are possible, that America continues to be an incredible place where opportunities reign every day. I want your children to learn that they were born for a purpose, and that when they fulfill that purpose, they'll have impact, and they'll have a life that's filled with success and framed with significance. That's why I'm proud that we're here today. Now, you saw our faculty come in. This is, ladies and gentlemen, these were just our undergraduate faculty. The graduate faculty were here on Thursday afternoon, and I'm very proud of them. We didn't realize we would have space, otherwise we'd have had them stay, but we told them there's no space, and they're generous and accommodating, and they just marched in to be with you this morning and again this afternoon, and then they went home. Now this afternoon we do have a birthday in the house, and you know what happens at High Point when you have a birthday. When you have a birthday, I send you a card to your room, along with a Starbucks card. Starbucks card is free. Tuition the next semester goes up by the price of the card multiplied by 10. And we put your name on all these computers and television screens on campus. Now today, we have J.D. Shelton. Was it Jade Shelton? Where are you? Where are you? Miss Shelton, Mr. Shelton, where are you? JD, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Yes, there you are. No, just remain standing, remain standing. All right, you're gonna have about 7,500 people sing happy birthday for you. Is it Jade or JD? Jade, just Jade. So your parents spelled it wrong by putting an E at the end. That's okay. Okay, Jade Shelton. Where are you from, Jade? You're from California? Nice to have you here. So we have a lot of students from California, students from all 50 states and 50 countries around the world attend High Point University. Ladies and gentlemen, on the count of three, all of us are going to sing happy birthday to Jade. 1, 2, and happy birthday. All right. We want to recognize another group of distinguished guests this afternoon. If you have served or you are serving in any branch of the United States Armed Forces, please stand so we can thank you for your service. Thank you very much for your service, and God bless you. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to honor America and recognition of the graduating class of 2024, please give your attention to the presentation of colors by High Point University's Air Force ROTC students, and to the singing of the national anthem by our own chamber singers. Alyssa Peters, who will be graduating today with a Bachelor of Arts in Special Education, will be providing the sign language interpretation of the national anthem. Now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand with our veterans as we honor the United States of America. And please remain standing for the invocation.
Arch. Palm half right. Arch. Mark time. Arch. Color stern. Arch. Detail. Halt. Present. Arms. Right. Ace. Forward. Arch.
Good afternoon. Please join me in prayer. All-wise and all-knowing God, we humbly and honorably bow before Thee with grace, love, and thanksgiving, and with the most sincere and honest praise. We ask, Lord, that you bless this commencement ceremony. We thank you, Lord, for the ability and for allowing us to safely gather on this glorious day. For this, Lord, is the day that you have made, and we will all rejoice and be glad therein. You have brought us together from all over, from various places, to celebrate the phenomenal accomplishments of thy sons and thy daughters, this graduating class of 2024. We thank you, Lord. We thank you for patience. We thank you for perseverance and for the unwavering support of family, friends, faculty, and staff. Lord, we thank you for giving us comfort in Scripture when realizing dreams at times seemed impossible and completion of any sort seemed implausible. Nonetheless, Lord, Romans 8:28 reassured us that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are called according to his purpose. We thank you for this centennial for High Point University, 100 years of educational and foundational wisdom. Lord, we are so blessed. So, as these graduates go forth in pursuit of their dreams, Lord, we ask that you help them to remember that all that has been instilled in them personally, professionally, and spiritually shall remain. In the midst of difficult times, help them to lean on Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, which strengthened me. And let us not forget Isaiah 54:17, that regardless to what comes thy way, no weapon formed against thee shall prosper. As we prepare later to depart this commencement ceremony, we ask, Lord, that you will allow the graduates to do so with confidence, wisdom, strength, and the peace of God that surpasses all understanding. May these graduates soar high on wings like eagles, filled with courage, and run and not grow weary as they pursue their heavenly dreams. As we close this prayer, O Lord, let us not forget all who have invested their talents and resources into these graduates. May they all be strengthened and restored and blessed abundantly. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for this day. We ask these things in your holy name. Amen.
Please be seated. Dear friends, this afternoon you're going to hear from several members of our platform guests. I ask the platform guests if you please stand up. These are our deans of our 13 academic schools at High Point, and the president of our student body, and the provost, and the vice president of senior VP of academics, and of course our keynote speaker, whom I'll introduce momentarily. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much. And now it is my honor to introduce you to the president of the senior class, Mr. Braden Boyle from Baltimore, Maryland, who's graduating with a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration. In addition to being the senior class president, Braden has served in several leadership roles during his 4 years at HBU with student government, community standards, residence life, and fraternity and sorority life. He was interfraternity president, a Dean's List recipient, an advisory board member to the National Interfraternity Council, a resident assistant, and is a member of Beta Theta Pi fraternity and Order of Omega, the Greek Honor Society. Recognized as an HBU Extraordinary Leader and recipient of the university's Senior Award for Outstanding Leadership, Braden was also instrumental in planning the student concert featuring, who was it featuring? Florida. Have you people ever heard of Florida? Oh, come on, you're just trying to impress your children. You have no idea what Florida is. All I know is that you cost me too much money on that concert. But it was a great concert, and the students liked it, and that's what matters. To bring a word of greeting on this festive day, in all seriousness, dear friends, please welcome the president of the senior class, Mr. Braden Boyle.
Thank you, President Cobain, for your leadership and kind introduction, Provost Erb, the Board of Trustees, our commencement speaker, Glenn Stearns, and all of the amazing faculty and staff that have made this day possible. A huge thank you to all of you. Before I go any further, I'd like to ask a simple question. With a raise of hands, who in this class in 2020 had a virtual, drive-by, non-normal, or no graduation at all in the spring of 2020? Well, we made it. Before we go any further, I did this at the last ceremony. I just want to capture this moment because it's really special to be up here in front of you all. So we're going to take a quick selfie. Thank you. Sorry, Dr. Cobain. So welcome to what is some of our first graduation ever. As I stand before you today, honored in this momentous occasion of High Point University's 100th commencement, I find myself overwhelmed and overcome with emotions that are nearly impossible to put into words, but I will simply try my best without getting emotional. As I reflect on the last 4 years in this incredible institution, I'm forever blessed and beyond grateful for the people in this audience who have shaped me and my classmates into who we are today. Despite the obstacles, the challenges, the uncertainties, and even COVID-19, we stand here today as graduates, ready to embark on the next chapter of our lives. As we celebrate this remarkable achievement, let's take a walk down memory lane of our 4 years at this special place. Entering during a national pandemic in August of 2020 was quite literally an experience for us all. We overcame, along with the university, we were able to move to college, unlike other universities, ensuring a somewhat normal start to our academic career. Despite COVID, social distancing, masks, quarantine, and nothing but 19 magic meals, we got through our freshman year. I want to give you guys a little story. It was December of 2021 of my sophomore year. It was a winter break. It was the middle of our college career. I went home to Baltimore, Maryland, where I'm from, for the holidays and went out to one of my favorite Chinese restaurants in the area. After enjoying an amazing meal, I went and picked up a fortune cookie, as one does, and I opened the cookie and immediately was taken back as I read the fortune, quote, "Develop an appreciation for the current moment." At the time of this, college was flying by. I felt like I blinked and I was halfway through my college career. Reading these 7 simple words has been and will continue to be a moment that defined my college career and my journey as I carry this fortune at all times with me in the back of my phone case. Reading these simple words remind me to take everything in. Saying goodbye to sophomore year, we hit junior year. No COVID, no restrictions. College felt like college, and we were on the home stretch towards senior year. Friends, family, faculty, staff, and most importantly, to the class of 2024. As we stand on the many unknowns that come before us, as the fortune cookie said, I urge you to gain and develop an appreciation for this moment. This moment, right here, right now, as it will never come again. The laughter shared with friends, the late night conversations in the dorm rooms, trips to the C-store, the feeling of friendship, love, and family as we cheer each other on during our victories and lifted each other up during our defeats. These are the moments that define our college experience. The memories that will linger are the quiet ones. Last omelet with Miss Christie and the calf, the last class with faculty who continue to push you, inspire you, and launch you towards excellence. The last conversation with that mentor or that staff member who allowed you to be where you are today. And most importantly, the last time walking less than 100 steps to see your best friends. I hope you give gratitude to those who have shown you the beauty of life. Let's remember that this is not the ending, but this is quite literally just the beginning. For many of us, this is not a graduation. It's a bittersweet farewell. It's saying goodbye to the familiar faces that have become our second family. It's leaving behind the memories that have shaped us into the individuals that we are today. I want you to take a moment to think about the people who have made this journey worthwhile, the friends who have laughed with you in times of joy and stood with you in times of despair, the professors who have challenged us to think critically, to question boldly, and strive for excellence in everything that we do. and to the families who have shaped us, supported us, encouraged us, believed in us, even when we doubted ourselves. Nothing can take away the last 4 years we have shared together. They are uniquely ours. Class of 2024, seniors, I remember being a young kid, hearing the year 2024 and thinking, that's so far away. Well, here it is. May your journey be filled with joy, with fulfillment, and with the knowledge that you are capable of achieving greatness. Thank you.
A university is only as good as its faculty, and HPU is blessed indeed with stellar faculty. Learned men and women who are deeply committed to the nurture of our students, professional educators esteemed in their fields and recognized in their areas of expertise. I wish they were all here to join us, but as I said earlier, we did not realize we'll have any seats available. So ladies and gentlemen, the Board of Trustees of High Point University proudly today has chosen Mr. Glenn Stearns as the recipient of the coveted and rarely bestowed honorary doctorate. And let me just pause and say, in my 20 years, I think we may have given 5 or 6 honorary doctorates. One of them went to a gentleman named Ron Wanek, who I believe is somewhere here in the audience. Ron Wanek is a man who, is that you, Ron, waving at me? Yes? No? I think he's sitting up there somewhere. Yes, I see him, yes. So Ron Wanek grew up in a small town in Minnesota, and then in a house without even indoor plumbing. And he went on to build the world's largest furniture company called Ashley Furniture. Ron is a model for me in many ways and a mentor. He is a great American and a gentleman. He's a member of the Horatio Alger Association of Distinguished Americans, and he's a great benefactor to High Point University in many ways, not the least of which is that he's sent now at least 5, I believe 5 grandchildren. I hope I'm right on that, 5 or 6. And today one of them is sitting in the audience. Brooklyn, where are you? Raise your hand, Brooklyn. Let me see where you are. Can't spot you in this. Oh, there you are, Brooklyn. And so Ron has promoted this university everywhere. And the greatest gift, parents, you can give us is when you entrust us with your child. And when you entrust us with your second child, as many of you have, and when you entrust us with your third child, as many of you have, then you've given us the greatest gift of all. But Ron didn't just stop there. He had a little cherry on top and gave us a lot of money, so we love him a lot. And so we have 2 buildings on this campus named for the Wanek name. One is Wanek Center, as you know, students, some of you have lived there, and of course the Wanek School of Natural Sciences. This is the story of America. Somebody grows up with nothing, and because of hard work and a belief in their heart that they can make something of their life, go on to hire more than 30,000 people in his company, creates jobs for others, and more so, blesses so many. His family has given $50 million to the Mayo Clinic, $50 million to the City of Hope in California, and so many other organizations have benefited because of their philanthropy. But more than their philanthropy, it's their friendship and advocacy that I deeply appreciate. So Ron Wanek is Dr. Ron Wanek, and he received an honorary degree the last time one of his grandchildren graduated from High Point University. So Brooklyn, we're not going to give him another one today. You're on the losing end of that deal. You're just a couple of years too late, but I just want to recognize him and thank him for being here, as I recognize all of you here who have been very generous to this university with your time, speaking to our students, certainly with your gifts, and most importantly, with your advocacy of this university from border to border and coast to coast. I thank you, everyone. My friend Glenn, would you come up, please, and stand right there? Glenn Stearns will be presented today with the honorary degree, Doctor of Entrepreneurship. Our 14th and latest school here is named the David Congdon School of Entrepreneurship. And so this is the first degree we give in this regard from that school. It's a distinguished honor and appreciation for your business and entrepreneurial achievements and for your philanthropic generosity. Dr. Amy Holcomb, Dean of our Stout School of Education, will now read the resolution.
Good afternoon. Whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns is a world-renowned entrepreneur, businessman, philanthropist, and the founder of Stearns Lending, LLC, which became one of the largest private-held mortgage companies in the United States, and whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns was awarded the Ernst & Young LLP Entrepreneur of the Year Award, which recognizes the expertise and achievements of entrepreneurs and leaders of high-growth companies, and whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns is a published author, his book, Integrity, My Slow and Painful Journey to Success, recounts his rags to riches journey of his success. And whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns is the star of the Discovery Channel show Undercover Billionaire and a reality TV show in which he built a startup company from scratch with little resources, and whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns has twice been a cancer survivor and in spite of his health challenges has continued his trajectory of success, and whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns is a member of 11 nonprofit boards and has received numerous philanthropic awards, including Giving is Living Award for his philanthropic activities in Orange County, California, and whereas Glenn Bryan Stearns' personal legacy and philanthropy were recognized with induction into the Horatio Alger Association for Distinguished Americans, which honors outstanding individuals and encourages youth to pursue their dreams through higher education, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees, the President, and the faculty and staff of High Point University herein extend a heartfelt recognition to Glenn Bryan Stearns for his business and entrepreneurial achievements and philanthropic generosity. And be it further resolved that by the Board of Trustees and President of High Point University, that it approves conferral upon Glenn Bryan Stearns the honorary degree of Doctor of Entrepreneurship with acknowledgement of his remarkable career and professional accomplishments.
Congratulations, Dr. Stearns. Graduates and family members, let me introduce you to a friend of mine now who serves as our commencement speaker, the gentleman we just honored. At High Point University, we've always guided and encouraged you to live a life of success and significance. Today, we're sending you off with a commencement speaker who personifies both of those ideals. Glenn Stearns is known for his unrivaled track record of turning his vision and passion into reality through hard work, through determination, and through grit. As a serial entrepreneur, Dr. Stearns' most recent accomplishment is as the founder and CEO of Kind Lending, one of the fastest growing mortgage banks in the industry. His previous venture in this area was Stearns Lending, a nationwide mortgage company he established in 1989. This wholesale lending vision became the #1 lender in the U.S. Dr. Stearns helped over 1 million families achieve home ownership. In 2019, he starred in the television show Undercover Billionaire. Producers kept calling him, wanting him to do the show. He finally gave in. The show was centered around starting over and building a business from the ground floor. The company he built on the show is currently operating today in Erie, Pennsylvania, where the show was filmed. As he told me, I recorded my PBS show with him yesterday. As he told me, here's what they did. They took him to a city he's never been. They gave him $100. They put him in Erie, Pennsylvania, and they gave him an old beat-up pickup truck. And they said, let's see what you can do. And he did a number of things to grow that $100. And then he started a restaurant, which is operating today with revenue of more than $1 million. And he said he'll do it all over again. I said, this is crazy. You were doing so well in life. Why would you put yourself in that situation? In a place you don't know anybody, nobody knows you. And he said, that's what I love about life, is making something come to be. So our speaker was named, as you heard, Ernst & Young's Entrepreneur of the Year, and he was inducted in the Horatio Alger Association. Last year, he published his book, which has sold so many copies all over the world. I'm honored to present to you today's commencement speaker for lots of reasons. You will perhaps note a little bit when he speaks that he may struggle a time or two as he delivers his commencement address. That is because he had cancer in his mouth, and he cannot swallow, and he cannot eat. He does not eat like you and I do. He eats through a medical, puts in what do you call it? A drink? Yeah, it's not cognac or anything like that, is it? It's, yeah. And this is a guy who overcame the most difficult of adversity. He'll tell you about his dad. He'll tell you about his life. He doesn't tell the whole story. But I want you students to understand that most commencements bring in the easy speaker. Here are 3 things that if you do them, you will excel in life, and life will be phenomenal for you. You're the COVID class. You've been through some difficult times. And I wanted to have a speaker here today who says, my life was tough. And by all accounts, I should have given up. But I chose not to give up. I chose to rise above it all. I chose to be all God intended for me to become. And before you will stand a man who is a miracle, and you'll be captivated by his message. As you know, he joins an extraordinary line of previous commencement speakers, including Dr. Vincent Price, president of Duke University, who spoke here on Thursday, Ambassador Bonnie McElveen Hunter, entrepreneur and former U.S. ambassador to Finland, Daniel Lubitsky, who's a friend of Glenn's and mine, who founded Kind Snacks and became one of the largest food companies in the world, Cynthia Marshall, who had 11 miscarriages, grew up in the most deprived locations of a city named Los Angeles, and went on to become president of AT&T in North Carolina, and today CEO of the Dallas Mavericks. Josh Groban, internationally acclaimed singer, broadcast legend Tom Brokaw, all those people spoke at our graduations. Dr. Condoleezza Rice, the 66th Secretary of the State in the United States, the late General Colin Powell, my mentor, among others, who has been such a good friend to me and to Hyper University. He was the former Secretary of State, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and National Security Advisor. Former First Lady, Laura Bush spoke here. Her Majesty Queen Noor of Jordan spoke here, and NASA astronaut Dr. Buzz Aldrin as well, and among others. Now, Dr. Stearns, allow me to introduce you to some 450 graduates who have labored tirelessly and diligently to arrive at this milestone in their lives. And then I give you all these friends and family members who have gathered here from across the United States and the world, who thought they'll be home by now because graduation was supposed to be at 9 o'clock, who probably had to change flights, cancel lunch reservations, stay an extra night in a hotel. That's what I mean when we bind together as a family, amazing things can come to be. And they came here to celebrate our graduates' achievements, their children and grandchildren, their friends and neighbors. Dear graduates, parents, faculty, and friends, please welcome our featured speaker, my very good friend, Dr. Glenn Stearns.
No pressure. President Kubain and Provost Sir, deans, faculty, family and friends, and of course, class of 2024. Wow. Thank you for letting me be here. What an honor. I don't know if you saw yesterday's speech by the Reverend Hodges. That was powerful. You know, I was with him this morning and I said, you know, Reverend, don't get me wrong, but I mean, you are really close to God, and I thought maybe you might have some power over, you know, the weather. And he turned to me and he said, you know, I'm in charge of sales. Somebody else is in charge of management. So what can you say, you know? You know, I tell you again, just looking at this class, the class of resilience, what you all have been through. I mean, starting from your birth to COVID, just amazing. And taking this deliberate choice to be here at this university, you know, God, family, country, life skills. I mean, it is wonderful to see you all thrive. It's something, I'm telling you, going through hard times, it just makes you stronger when you get to have a little adversity in your life. I had 3 speeches. The first one I thought might be able to be something that your president would be proud of, something maybe be kind of close to what he could deliver. But you students might know that came from ChatGPT, right? So I was like, all right, I'm not going to do that. You know, in reality, the only one that would have known is me. And you talk about integrity, right? It's what you do when no one else is looking. And so I spent a few weeks on a speech myself, and I thought, okay. And then after meeting a lot of you, I thought, well, my third one, maybe just from my heart, something that, you know, really speaks, and that talks about authenticity of what I think all of you, all of us, need to understand. Trying to be somebody else when we get out there in the real world and trying to live to someone else's standards is not what we need to do. Teddy Roosevelt had said, comparison is the thief of joy. We can be our best selves. That's what we need to do. So when you get out there, just realize that you've got this. You guys have gotten such a great start through High Point. The theme of what I'm going to try to talk about is more about adaptation. And really, I'll try to convince you that being in the middle, being in the herd, being comfortable, it's actually probably the worst place to be, okay? When you think about it, being ordinary is not going to ever give you that joy of being extraordinary. So what I hope you'll do is, if anything, again, I didn't remember my speaker, okay? I don't expect you to remember me, but I hope you'll take a nugget or two away where you go, you know, that makes sense, you know, and live your life, and I hope it helps. I remember trying to make a difference once, and it was right around your birthdays, so it was 9/11. I had gone to New York. I wanted to lift rocks, and I wanted to help move things and try to make a difference. And on the way back, I was on a train going home, and I wasn't married at the time, but I had a seat, and a nice young lady sat down across the way, and I thought, I'm going to ask her to sit here. And then this older man sat down right in front of me. I'm like, no, you know, like, oh, I got to talk to this guy for 2 hours. And I saw he had a basketball ring on, and I said, you must like basketball. And he said, well, I guess you could say so. I own the team. And it was Abe Poland who had owned the Washington Wizards, and he owned the Capitals. And I got to spend a couple hours with this man and listen to his stories about integrity and about really doing the right thing. And so you never know. When you get a rainy day like today and life doesn't throw you exactly what you think, some great things can come out of it. And as I said, I was single at the time, which means I had been married. I'm not real proud of the fact that I ended up with a divorce. But I'll tell you, as you know, life will throw funny things at you. My ex-wife is now godmother to my children with my wife and me. And so it's not what happens in your life. It's what you do with what happens with your life. Because it's not going to go perfect, okay? But you're going to hopefully be able to figure it out. So I want you to imagine a world where you don't have any pain or any disappointment. That life is just perfect, no heartache, no struggle. Would you like that world? Would you like to be in that world? Just kind of being with the herd, like we talked about. Just being protected, staying in the middle. Well, avoiding that pain is probably the biggest mistakes we can make. It doesn't build the character. You know, a good friend of the president's and mine, Captain Charlie Plum, was he was in Hanoi Hilton, Vietnam jail. He says that adversity is a terrible thing to waste. When we have this, we use it as fuel. Well, hopefully you'll realize that some of your greatest failures can end up being some of your greatest successes. It's all how you look at it. You know, so when we think about what stands out, what is it? Is it something small, singing in front of your class, or bungee jumping, or skydiving, you know, anything? It could be coming up your wedding. Maybe it's a birth of your child. Whatever it is, these thrills and successes and achievements, they're moments that you look back and you say, wow, I'm so proud. I'm really happy I did that. They're also the moments that lead you with the most stress, losing sleep. They're the things that give you the anxiety. Take love, right? I mean, that's the scariest thing of all. What if it doesn't work out? Well, there's a saying, right? It's better to have loved and lost than to not have loved at all. We've got to go for it, no matter what. I mean, I was born in the outskirts of Washington, D.C. I had bars on the windows. I had alcoholic parents, failed 4th grade. Not a good year to fail, by the way. Hold your kids back in like kindergarten. They won't remember that. But in 8th grade, 14, I had a child myself. So I had a baby in 8th grade. I had my own intervention in 10th grade. The 8th grade thing kind of stayed with me. Talk about pain, right? Talk about not exactly figuring it out early. You'd think I'd want to avoid it at all costs. Well, I'm going to give you a little bit of advice, all right, on how maybe we can get through this. Because, again, you don't want to avoid the pain. You want to be able to rejoice in the fact that sometimes we feel so bad, but it gives us such a great opportunity to celebrate when it's so good. Well, I've got a little bit of advice, and I hope you'll follow it. Number one is don't be afraid to get lost, make mistakes. Don't be afraid. You got to embrace the uncomfortable. My mom, when I was small, she would put my sister and I in the car. And usually, because my dad had been drinking, okay, but she'd say, let's go, kids, we're going to get lost. And we would get in the car, and we would just drive and drive. She'd pull over somewhere, and she'd throw her hands up. Oh, no, guess what? And we'd scream, we're lost. And it was just so much fun to find our way home, you know. And we get to that point, right, where if you look at life, what's around the corner? Is it something scary, or is it something exciting? It's a mindset. And it reminds me of those 2 kids. A lot of you heard about them, but a father had 2 children. One was a very negative child, and one was a very positive child. He put them in a room, each in their separate room. One he filled with toys, the very negative child, filled with great toys. The other, he filled with a pile of manure. He left them there for an hour. He opens the door to the negative child, and he's saying, these toys, they're broken, they're not any good, you know, they're cheap toys, Dad. He then opens the other door. The other child is just digging away in the manure. What are you doing, son? He says. Under all this manure, there's got to be a pony in here. How you think, right? You got to keep that positive mindset. So the next steps for you, they're going to be full of excitement. I hope so. But when you do this, you got to build your safety net of friends and mentors. You got to find your tribe, find your balcony friends, the ones that are going to lift you up. Okay, don't avoid your basement friends. And we all got them, and we know who they are, and they're the fun ones. But are they keeping you down? Remember that, because you want to be around those ones that are going to lift you up. Secondly, embrace life's ups and downs. Again, if I try to convince you to stay out of the middle, I hope you realize that you just don't want to be ordinary. You want to be extraordinary. And you got to do that by standing out. Again, watching that choir yesterday, watching them sing, there was a couple of them that just took it in, closed their eyes, and just were swaying to the music. I was tearing up because they were going for it. You could feel it came through their heart. And you got to take life like that. You got to take it and believe it and just go for it. In 2007 and 2008, we talk about the Great Recession. Well, I was at the top of my game, and now I'm at the bottom. I'm on my knees. I've had millions of dollars of loan go bad. I lost 85% of my revenue. It was a bad time. So I went to a mentor of mine, and I told him, look, I'm having a horrible time. And he told me about when he had owned the Seattle Mariners, and he owned a baseball team, and he owned an airline. He says, right in the middle of it all, they both went on strike. He says, I didn't know what I was going to do. I was going to lose everything. But I went to work. I started communicating. He goes, and I figured it out. It became the best thing to ever happen in my life. And he turned to me, put his finger out, and he says, Glenn, this too shall pass. I sat there. I thought about that. A couple days later, I went to work, and we had a little party for a business associate of mine, different thing, and I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to keep the doors open, but we had this little party, and someone had brought some champagne. So I took it as we were leaving. We were done. There was one bottle that wasn't opened, and I put it in my refrigerator. I remember looking at it, and I said, if I make it out of this, I'm going to pop this bottle and celebrate. Well, we became the #1 wholesale lender in the country. And every day I'd look at that bottle. I'm like, not yet, not quite. We sold our business, most of it, to a big private equity group. And if you know the movie Tropic Thunder, and in the words of Tom Cruise, we sold it for lots of money. Lots and lots. Well, I looked at that bottle, not yet. I end up with cancer twice, go through that. That wasn't fun. I do the show, Undercover Billionaire, becomes #1 for them for 5 years. Looking at that bottle, not yet. Discovery makes the announcement, Undercover Billionaire coming out this fall. The same day, the people that bought me declare bankruptcy and forget to pay me lots of money, okay? But I sat there and I went, you know what, that's fine. I start Kind Lending, my next company. The day we open the doors, the governor shuts it down for COVID, right? So we have to go and grow this thing from our homes. We've become the fastest lender to reach the top 10 in the country. And I look at that bottle, which I have right here, and I realize it's great to celebrate, but never take the highs too high. Don't get too full of ourselves, but don't let the lows be too low. You know, when we get there, when we're at the top, we do need to stop. We need to thank the Lord. And we need to say, wow, what a wonderful place to be. Pinch yourself, because we don't stay there. But when we're at the bottom, think about that. The only way we can go is up. So we're not going to stay there either. So we live for these moments, right? We live by having the ups and the downs. And lastly, I'll tell you, it's never too late. When you get out there and you're going for a job or whatever happens, and you think, I missed that opportunity. It's never too late. In the words of a very strong woman, do not fear failure, but be terrified of regret. As I told you, my father had struggled with alcohol, and he never wanted to stand out. Called himself an introvert, wasn't a people person. He tried to avoid pain at all costs. The ironic part was the more he avoided it, the more he would feel it, so he masked it with alcohol. My mother left him, and when she did, he was a very broken man. Well, I went off to college, and that was the man I knew. Broken, sad man. Well, my wife starts inviting him to the family trips. And as he would sit there, he's starting to quote scripture and philosophers. And I mean, this is a man I didn't even know could read. And now I'm watching him, I'm listening, and I began to lean in. Wow. So when I had the cancer, we bought a yacht and we went around the world. And I asked my dad to come along. And he and I dove and fished 42 days in a row. He said yes to life. We hiked waterfalls and mountains. We went to Asia, into the jungles. We went to Japan. We went everywhere you could think of, Africa, and went with the tribes and did their rituals. I mean, this man, he just became my best friend. 2 years ago, he came down with COVID. And it was rough on him. He had had 30 years of smoking. So he was in the hospital for 4 months. And I was doing a speech with a group. And at the end, a man came up to me and he said, you know, your dad, he's a hero. And I said, my dad's from Maryland, and he lives in a very small circle. He goes, oh, I know your dad. He said, he's a hero. He says, he's a legend in the world of addiction and recovery. I mean, no idea. He'd spent 40 years changing people's lives. I didn't even think the man had contributed much, and here he was. Well, he had loved to embrace his failures. This man, I went back to the hospital. I looked him in the eye, and I said, you know, Dad, you're a hero. But you know what, more than that, I said, you're my hero. And that man got to die with dignity, and he died knowing he'd made a difference in people's lives. So if you label yourself introverted or shy or extroverted or outgoing, anything, but never listen to the negative voices, okay? Never let anybody tell you that you can't dream big. In the words of your very own president, there's no such thing as unrealistic dreams, only unrealistic timelines. So please, class, embrace the pain, right? Enjoy life's moments. Just be grateful for when you're on the top and stop. And remember, when you're on the bottom, you got nowhere to go but up, okay? And of course, this too shall pass. So take chances, stand out, and make the most. Thank you, class. And for those that are Star Wars fans, may the 4th be with you.
I probably shouldn't tell you this, but after his presentation this morning, I know of a student who couldn't wait to get to him and hugged him, and he said, "Your story is my story." And the student was sobbing and said, "You have no idea what it meant to me today to hear you say that." You never know when you touch someone's life. You never know somebody else's circumstances. And Glenn Stearns certainly has lived in a way that is so, so meaningful. Well, the saddest thing, by the way, this is a no alcohol, this is an alcohol-free, drug-free campus. Did you know that? So I'm going to confiscate this bottle of champagne. Hey, Braden, what are you doing after the ceremony? Yeah, you keep it, and then I'll find you later. All right. Okay. Oh, 7 Presbyterians clapped there, just publicly, right? The Baptists would never clap at something like that. Oh, my goodness. The saddest thing in my 20 years at High Point University is when my assistant brings a name and says, here's a student whose daddy died. And I pick up the phone and I call the student and tell him I'm praying for him. I said, all the resources of High Point University is at your command. Tell us how we can help you. Sometimes it's mom who died. Just the other day, one of our students, I don't know if he's sitting in this audience or this morning, lost his dad on a Sunday night for a heart attack. And the mom let me know that, and I reached out to the student. Never in a million years I'd have guessed. The dad dies on Sunday night. On Monday night, his brother dies in a car accident. Life can be so difficult. And Glenn, your message is so pertinent. Because when life is so difficult, you'd rather just give up. But this mom was strong. And she said, I don't want my son, if he's here, I hope you'll forgive me because I kept a secret. I don't want my son to know till after he finishes his exams. And I'm sure by now she's let him know. It's sad when something like that happens in life. We had a student here. Her name is Gianna Rose Delgado. She would have been sitting right where you are seated. She passed away tragically on the 21st of June of the year 2021. She was a criminal justice major with a pre-law track. Gianna, with her infectious smile and big heart, was deeply loved by everyone and admired by her classmates. As one friend said at her memorial service on campus, she will always be one who lifts me up. She was, she is, and always will be a beautiful soul. Gianna taught us all in her own way to be the kind of people who never give up, no matter the difficulties. Gianna's perseverance lives on in all of us even today. Her father is Ricardo. He's here today. I want to invite Ricardo to join me on the stage, please. Ricardo has expressed his gratitude for the love and support he and his family have received from many of Gianna's friends and the wider HBU family. And today you're here with some family members, yes? Yes. Today, as has been our tradition, Ricardo, when one of our own student family goes on to heaven and could not finish their degree on campus, the Board of Trustees and the faculty of this university and I present their parent with an honorary degree posthumously. This degree is exactly what these students are going to get today. And I'm going to ask the provost if he will read the words on this diploma.
The Board of Trustees, upon recommendation of the faculty, hereby confers upon Gianna Rose Delgado the degree of Honorary Bachelor of Arts, Criminal Justice, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto, given under the seal of the University of High Point, North Carolina, this 4th day of May, 2024.
Ricardo, I know you'll keep this in a safe place. Do you carry a wallet with you? Do you mind taking your wallet for a second? No, don't give it to me, then I'll keep it. Look, you trust me too much? Ask some of these people here. But open up your wallet, sir. This is a copy of that diploma. You may carry it in your wallet from now evermore, in memory of your dad. Thank you, President. Thank you very much. Now, that's a sad note, but as our speakers said today, out of adversity must emerge abundance, and Ricardo chose to be here. We invited him, and he said, yes, I want to come, yes, I want to attend, I want to be with her class. And so thank you very much for being with us. Now, students, I know that we'd have all rather have been out in front of Roberts Hall. But you know what? This is much better than being out in Roberts Hall. It's air-conditioned here, no fear of lightning, no fear of muddy grounds. This is really a great thing. However, when I was shaving this morning, I was thinking to myself, I got to do something for these students. You're the COVID class. You've been through so much. So here's what we've decided to do. You know that beautiful sign outside that you see, the brand new sign, I Heart High Point University? Did you see it at night? It's gorgeous at night. Take a picture with it at night. It's out of this world. We are going to extend the plaza behind it, the brickwork behind it. We're going to extend it all the way back. We're going to name that plaza in your honor, and we are going to put a brick with your name on it, every single one of you. And for years to come, you'll remember this moment. You'll bring your children, maybe grandchildren, to come and see your name, and you will remind them why this all happened. I just want you to know how appreciative I am for your civility and your respect and your cooperation. Our speakers and guests are always so impressed how civil and respectful this university is. You know what's going on in America today, right, on college campuses? This would never happen on High Point University. That's not who we are. While we appreciate and empathize with everyone, there's always a way to come together and work things out. That's what High Point University is all about. And now, graduates, finally we arrive at the moment. The moment you've been waiting for, the awarding of your degrees.
Will the candidates receiving the Bachelor of Arts degree or the Bachelor of Fine Arts degree please stand? Mr. President, each of these candidates has completed the requirements for the Bachelor of Arts degree or Bachelor of Fine Arts degree. Each has been approved by the faculty, and each has been certified by the registrar of the university. I present them to you for the awarding of their degrees.
By virtue of the authority invested in me by the state of North Carolina, and by the Board of Trustees of High Point University, I hereby confer upon you the Bachelor of Arts degree or Bachelor of Fine Arts degree with all the rights and all the privileges appertaining thereto.
Candidates, please follow the directions of the junior marshals and come forward to the stage to receive your degrees.
Megan Elizabeth Abel. Emily Absher. Joy Ajay. Emily Rachel Althals. Jessica Altman. Brooke Taylor Androsiglio. Angelina Grace Antonucci. Rachel Marissa Anton. Luke Salvatore Artizone. Kayla Marie Ofdam Brink. Julian Miguel Austin Leva. Kayla Baginski. Athanasia Ballas. Starla Bamba. Riley Bandel. Thais Alana Barada. Holland Noel Barber. Angeline Yancey Bardalis. Mary Elizabeth Barnes. Lydia Claire Bartosh. Tarun Basker. Sarah Nicole Bellis. Alexandra May Bennett. Carver Thomas Berry. Alfred Blair Blakey. Madison Rose Bocchino. Charlotte Booker. Annie Borofsky. Cole Bouchard. Amanda M. Brewy. Jacob Matthew Brockman. Jasmine Diana Brown. Carissa Jalen Brown. Kendall A. Brown. Peyton E. Brown. Star Aaliyah Brown. Sydney Marilyn Browning. Chloe A. Broussard. Nathaniel Joshua Bryant.
Gretel May Bucheri.
Lauren Nicole Buddy. Julie Ellen Bugg. Garrett Charles Berger. Alexandra Margaret Busa. Britton Olivia Butler. Abigail Haley Byers. Michaela Danye Campbell. Mila Carrazzo. Grace Gardner Casey. Shannon Casey. Claire Elizabeth Cassell. Jocelyn Isabella Castillo. Courtney Elizabeth Cesarini. Nicole Chipperino. Victoria Michelle Howinski. Thornton H. Christine. Zachary Hamilton Christopher. Trinity Alexis Church. Hannah Gray Clark. Kendall Jalia Clark. Jackson Clay. Tyler Reese Cohen. Brian Patrick Coleman. Courtney Collar. May Cook. Lauren Haley Ruth Cookman. Madeline Grace Cooper. Shane Kennedy Cooper. Gabriel Alejandro Costa. Savannah Claire Cowan. Abby McKenna Coy. Charles Carlos Kroll V. Caitlin Isabel Cruz. Natalie Grace Dagata. Eric Daly. Ashley Lauren Dam. Julia Grace Darcy. Aaron Alexander Davenport. Kenzie K. Davey. Brianna Faith Davis. Haley Marie Dax. Marin Elizabeth Decker. Isabella Catherine D'Amatos. Casey Van Horn Derenbacher. Daniel Joseph Desjarlais. Spencer Faye Damaris. Caitlin Ross DeVera. Catherine Joy DeWan. Christopher James D. Costanzo. Jacob Dillman. John Michael DeLulo. Connor Roble Disharoon. Elizabeth Chanel Doyle. Anna Reed Drummond. Emily Brewer Drummond.
Deron Dudley.
Joanne Jane Duffin. Jenna Michelle Dunford. Kyla Ellen Dunphy. Carly Ann Dutch. Austin Canode Edwards. Blair Hampton Edwards. Minatala Mohammed El Siudi. Alexa Anastasia Elder. Francesca Ellis. Eric Stephen Elner. Madison Taylor Faggart. Bailey Grace Faircloth. Christina Amber Falcone.
Sarah Iverson Fallon.
Olivia Christine Farrell. Aaliyah Feggins. Caroline Elise Fisher. Melanie Victoria Fitz. Megan Elizabeth Flaherty. Caroline Rose Ford. Elise Lee Fralin. Tyler Nicole Francis. Alexa Franklin. Sage Jaden Alden Friedman. Gabriella Enza Frisco. Parker Nicholas Galliano. Walter James Galwis Jr. Shanice Sabria Lynette Gamble. Liam Garcia. Olivia Ann Gardner. Daniel Gargiulo. George Elwood Garner IV. Stephen Jonathan James Gast. Samwise Gamgee Gita. Elizabeth Irene Gall. Tomas Antonio Giacinti. Abigail McGregor Gibb. Sebastian Giliberto. Nicholas Ganella. Hannah Grace Good. Thomas Jackson Gould. Savannah Graver. Matthew Lawrence Gray. Jacob William Gregory. Camille Lachey Griffin. Michael Walker Guerriere. Sydney Grace Gully. Corinne B. Gumpman. Taylor S. Guyton. Daniel Duff Haldeman. Josie Elizabeth Hall. Braden Leroy Halliday. Oliver Foster Harbor. Morgan Hardy. Ryan Gunnar Harms. Reese Paul Harnett. Jenna Harris. Taylor Ann Hartley. Sarah Elizabeth Harvey. Taylor Lavani Hawkins. Reagan Amelia Hefferon. Elizabeth Parrish Herbert Jones. Haley Justine Hernandez. Cora Hicks. Zia Xiaowai Hirschberg. Abigail Mary Hogue. Claire Louise Hodges. Jasmine Zoe Holden. Sydney Faith Ann Horn. Megan Elizabeth Hovey. Logan Marie Howerton. Frances Celeste Herbeck. Bridget Lisbeth Hebner. Hannah Nicole Hutter. Allison Faith Eiler. Cyrus M. Jackson. Jordan Imani James. Emily Irene Janik. Nadia Raquel Javed. Abigail E. Jefferson. Dakota R. Johnson. Samuel J. Johnson. Tyler Johnson. Emma Caroline Jones. Megan Kathleen Jones. Corinna Simone Joyner. Samuel Marshall Carlin. Mackenzie Everhart Kaufman. Ryan Theodore Keenan. Julianne Kendrick. Brock James Kickline. Caitlin Judith Kajenka. Melanie Knoibule. Serafina Emily Kolb. Jada Marie Comedina. Maxwell David Kresak. Jorgen Patterson Crone. Olivia Marie Crumpy. Savannah Cruz. Sydney Victoria LaFour. Mackenzie Ann Lambeth. Claire Dellen Lecomte. Nathaniel Brent Ledford. Michael Jared Lee.
Brady Scott Lehman.
Alexandra Page Lewis. Brandon Marquise Lewis. Yunjing Lee. Nicole Rose Leifrig. Nicholas Philip Lindenstruth. Gianna Marie Loebman. Joseph E. Lucente. Caroline Grace Ludd. Jessica Paige Lukowski. Brielle Luongo. Liberty Carly Macias. Alyssa McRae. Haley Marie Antoinette Madalena. Haley Lane Maurer. Lily Grace Maggio. Madeline Grace Magincalda. Isabel Margaret Magistro. Brendan Michael Mala. Brian Raymond Margolis. Brianna Faith Marquez. Alexander Gray Marshall. Elizabeth Rose Matthey. Erin Teresa Mathewson. Katie Nicole McAlexander. Haley Marie McCall. Charlotte Marie McCallum. Sarah Madison McCarn. Richard McGuigan. Delaney McKenna. Haley Virginia McLaughlin. James Clay McNiff. Kira McQuillan. Ethan Robert Menzel. Melina Elizabeth Miraculous. Catherine Lynn Messick. Lydia Grace Miller. Hallie Beth Millison. Evan Lawrence Mills. Grace Mint. Jared Mines. Cassandra Ann Mishak. Odore Mora Morajan. Braden Marias. Liam Andrew Moran. Olivia Day Moran. Nicole Morse. Benjamin Thomas Mosing. Madeline Bray Mudd.
Bridget Mulder.
Bridget Kathleen Murphy. Michaela Murray. David James Murtha. Skylar Arella Newberg. Charles Paris Newell.
Nicholas Paris Newell.
Cecilia Ann Newman. Emily Nicole Newsom. Hallie Madura Nichols. Bryant Harris Norse. John Robert O'Connell. Aiden Patrick O'Donovan. Samuel Jack Olson. Kelly Ann O'Neill. Samuel W. Orsino. Katie Ozazuski. McKenna Paglione. Kira Pardue. Sarah Christine Parker. Charles Calvin Parks IV. Hannah Louise Parson. Ryan W. Parsons. Emily Christine Paternostro. Olivia Paulius. Anna Tulin Peach. Caroline Alexis Peacock. Macy McKenna Peel. Madison Rose Perry. Ashley Marie Pastana. Alyssa Suzanne Peters. Dean M. Peterson. Carmela M. Petrucelli. Dylan Scott Pettis. William L. Phipps. Christopher Piazza. Tegan Malone Pfeiffer. Mackenzie Lee Plant. Casey Rose Poli. Lauren Marie Pollock. Claire Elizabeth Price. Isabella Joy Price. Evan Michael Rodano. Alyssa Rainey. Juliana Nicole Raymond. Evelyn Jean Reynolds. Camille Louise Ritchie. Angelina Danielle Ritchell. Haley Dawn Rivers. Margaret Mulvihill Roach. Julian R. Rodriguez. Jamie Elba Romano. Jacob Max Rosenberg. Alexander Rucker. Shen Ray. Margaret Amelia Ryan. Anthony Joseph Sacchatello. Christian Eleanor Salvatore. Victoria M. Sanderson. James Baker Sandoval. Nicholas Santo Massimo. Sophia Dever Santoyo. Angelo Sasserini. John Stewart Sawyer. Anna Saylor. Owen Michael Schiff. Madison Grace Schmall. Taylor Isabel Shomes. Morgan Lynn Schrager. Benjamin Michael Schwade. Emma Claire Scrivo. Brittany Joy Sacraw. Haley Michelle Searing. Maggie Mae Selman. Ryan Lee Shapiro. Phoebe Jeanpei Shelburne.
Jade Shawnee Shelton.
Samuel Wynn Sherburne. Danielle Rose Schillinglaw. Paul Anthony Shortley.
Paul Conover Shumless.
Emma Elizabeth Sill. Wesley Everett Singer. Anthony Michael Savillo. Jennifer Nicole Smith. Reagan Elizabeth Smith. Ira Snell IV. Tristan Blake Snyder. Justina Marie Suarez. Savannah Marin Sparks. Claire Cullen Steffens.
Jade Sidney Xiaoyan Stewart.
Landon Stewart. Sarah McNeely Stewart. Heidi Marie Strausser. Brian Stewart. Liana Conchetta Cipher. Nicholas B. Szymanski. Paige Alexa Tellerico. Madison Victoria Tatham. Joey Lynn Taylor. Keegan Michael Taylor. Jace Quentin Tensley. Jasmine Simone Thomas. Brooke Francis Thuma. Anna Tornovich. Davis John Trax. Evan F. Treese. Olivia Joy Troiano. Ariana Tarsi. Graham Christopher Tuck. Bryn Marie Tugman. Brandon Tuthill. Shay Curtis Tyson. Sierra Isabel Valls. Holland Celia Sigrand Van Meter. Paige Van Voren. Dalton Christopher Vaughn. Samantha Velasquez. Rachel Helena Vesper. Nina Mary Capeche Volpe. Annika X. Wagaspak.
Sarah Sawyer Waite.
Tanika T. Walker. Henry Franklin Wallace. Mackenzie Ann Wander. Erin Leah Watney. Jackson Henry Weber. Anna Nicole Wine. Abigail Weiner. Jacob Michael Weitzman. Ryan Weitzner. Kathleen Grace White. Thomas Robert White. Jawan Bilal Williams. Myra E. Williams. Phoebe Williams. Michael Erhard Whip.
Alexandra Rain Wissing.
Garrett Whitcamp. Blake Ryan Woodard. Gabriella Marie Wolpert. Kaylee Sinclair Regg. Beverly Brianna Yarborough. Courtney Bryn Young. Michael Austin Zayas. Jonathan Garrett Zettelmoyer. Carly Geneva Zimmerman. Spencer M. Barron. Brooklyn Paige Barry Wagner. Aiden Elizabeth Dietrich. Ariel Nicole Escobar. Ella Simone Gutenstein. Madeline Justine Lavelle. Taylor Ann O'Connor. Lane Marie Polmatier. Ariana Rose Ranieri. Taylor Marie Sheila.
Will all the graduates now please stand? Turn and face the audience.
Stay for a second. Stay. Okay, go for it.
Graduates, you may now move your tassel from your right to your left, signifying that you have completed your undergraduate studies. Congratulations.
Thank you very much and have a seat. Congratulations. We're proud of each of you and all of you. Now, parents, as we celebrate your students' transformation today, we must also celebrate the generosity, the commitment, and the sacrifice that you have made to propel these graduates forward and upward. No one achieves much in his or her life without the support and guidance of others. So it is a tradition on this commencement day, as it is on convocation day, that we provide a blanket to each one of our students. It is sitting on the back of their seat. We ask these students to give this blanket to somebody who made a difference in their life, somebody who was a turning point in their life, somebody who planted a seed of greatness in their mind, their heart, their soul, somebody who believed in them when the whole world may have doubted something or another, someone who said, "Oh yes, you can." And that's who you give that blanket to. Now, you can keep it for about 24 hours. You can stretch to 48 hours. But should you not give it to someone and just keep it for yourself, when you die, you're going to go straight to hell. I'm the president, I know. And now, as we end the ceremony, and you have been both patient and wonderful, and I want to thank you again for your cooperation on this day when our team has to flex and change and redo things. It took really a miraculous amount of work to make it all work, and I'm just so grateful to them. As we exit here today, I'm going to ask all of you, just the protocol of the Academy, that you remain standing at the end until all of us march out. And students, we're going to make it easy for you. You don't have to recess. It takes too long for you. I know you want to be with your family. So when we're done, you can just go find your family informally, and all will be good. And so today, we're not going to do what we did this morning. This morning, I asked the audience, please, if they would leave this building as quickly as they could. I felt like a jerk telling these parents, get out. Get out. And we had to do that because we had to secure the building again, clean the building again. For you, no problem. We're not going to clean this place for another month or so. So you're good. You can stay as long as you want and hang around with your students. However, when you exit the building, you have two choices. You can exit in the way that you arrived, down the escalators into the front. However, if you want an easy ride back to your car, then you exit at 108. That would be section 108. Somewhere in there is 108, right? Somewhere in there. 106, 105, 6, 7. Where's 8? Somewhere there's 8, yeah. There is no 8 anywhere. So that's 7, 9. Okay. So at 8, you can exit, and there will be buses parked there. As I said, we closed the highway out there. There'll be buses waiting for you, and they'll take you right back to your car. But feel at home. This is your university. You're welcome today. You'll always be welcome on this campus. Now, as we end the ceremony, Clark, the American Eagle, will fly over our graduates to symbolize the start of their faithful and courageous life as responsible and leading citizens of the world. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, Clark was hatched at the World Bird Sanctuary's breeding facility in the year 2002 and received his training as a flyer at a young age. As Clark soars over the graduates, and I mean they're like 2 inches between their heads and his feet, Dr. Mark Foster, Chair and Professor of Music and Director of Choral Activities, will sing America the Beautiful. Let me remind you, you must remain seated. Should you get smart and get up to take a picture, you will die. This has been a wonderful afternoon. You have been remarkable. We appreciate you. Thank you, and God bless you.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God man thy in every flaw. Confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law.
Thank you.